What's up, YouTube? Prof Sales coming at you with another 10 at 10. And today's topic is when eBay attacks. Some of you may know that eBay recently put out a new seller update. And I've started reading through this update, and I wanted to share with you my initial thoughts on it. And one part about it in particular that I think a lot of people are concerned about, upset about, what have you. Let's just jump into it. All right. So the first thing I'm going to say is that eBay will always continue to evolve, and you have to continue to evolve as well. eBay is an e-commerce platform, but they're a business, and they're always going to be responding to changing business trends, what's out there in the marketplace. You got to be ready to do it too. You got to be ready to evolve with eBay. That's just part of being in business with them. Now, I know a lot of people out there are not really consider themselves in business. Maybe you're just kind of selling to make a few extra bucks, but it doesn't matter. You're playing in their sandbox. You're going to have to evolve with them, okay? So the second thing, read the update. This seems very commonsensical, guys, but you'd be surprised how many people are out there who do not read the entire update and don't really understand it. So they start taking what other people are telling them and saying, oh, well, that's what's going to happen, or this is what's going to happen. Guys, read through the update. eBay does a pretty good job about communicating them. And make sure that you understand it inside and out as best you can. If you have questions, you can ask eBay directly. The eBay has community forums, but I'm going to caution you against going there. And the reason I'm going to caution you is because the community forums on eBay have devolved into, oh, for lack of a better word, just a big bitch fest. And yes, I use that word. But that's what they've become, and that's all it is just people moaning and complaining about eBay. And eBay representatives will go on those community forums and answer questions and try to clarify things. But honestly, the amount of quality information you get from those forums is not so great. And I'm not a big fan of them. All right, so this next point is reaction of others. Now, this point, guys, speaks to human nature. And I'm just going to say, you're going to go on Facebook, you're going to go on forums, you can go on, other YouTubers channels, and you're going to see people react to these seller updates. And I'm going to make a prediction that 97, 98% of the reactions you see are going to be negative. Now, why is that? Is that because 97 or 98% of the people that are out there think that the new seller update or any seller update is horrible? No. What's happening here is that it's just the way human beings are wired. When something happens that we're okay with or that we can adapt to, we don't really tend to verbalize that too much or express ourselves about it. But when it's something happens that we don't like, we tell everyone. So if you took 10,000 resellers and asked them about this update, I don't know what the percentages would be, but let's say that there was 200 people out of that 10,000 that are really super upset about it. They're going to make 98% of the noise about it on forums and Facebook groups and so on, because that's how we're wired. It's like, man, I can't believe eBay's doing this to us again. I'm going to jump online and tell everybody I know about how horrible they are. I guess it's a form of therapy. It's a form of dealing with it, to just tell people. But the people who really are okay with this are just going to adapt and move on. So it's up to you how you react to it. I mean, you control how you react. You control what you expose yourself to. But I can guarantee you that if you spend your time, focusing on the reaction of others, it's mainly going to be negative, just because that's who's going to be making the most noise. They're self-selecting. We would use this term in political science. You're self-selecting yourself for a survey of sorts. And they're deciding, you know what, I've got an axe to grind and I want everybody to know about it. And if you just look at those people, you're going to think they represent the whole universe of resellers and people out there, and that's not really true. So let's talk about the controversial part, or maybe the most controversial part of this new update, and that's the return policy. So I did some thinking about this yesterday, guys, and here's what I've come up with. So for those of you who don't know, there's a new return policy you can opt into, okay? And this return policy says that you can change your returns to a 60-day window, and you can offer free returns to your buyers. Now, let me point out, this is, first of all, this is not required, okay? eBay is rolling this out. You're not required to do this, but you can do this. So you might say to yourself, well, why do I do it? Well, eBay is saying that if you do this, your listings will get increased exposure. Now, we don't know everything about what that means, but our guess is that you will be pushed up in the search rankings with your listings. Buyers are going to be able to search by return policy. That's going to be a search metric. And the thinking is that some buyers will like the idea of free returns because, like on Amazon, for instance, if you have Prime, you can get free returns. Walmart has a free return policy, some other companies as well. So eBay's made this decision to try to, test this out for buyers who want to do it. Now, on the surface, this may look really horrible. So I'm going to try to break it down as I see it, and you guys can agree or disagree, but here's how I see it. First of all, and I'm just going to come out and say it. $60 days doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't matter for you as a seller, and I'm going to tell you why. eBay already offers the ability for you to have 30-day returns, 14-day returns, whatever. The longer this period becomes, the less likely the return will happen. Now, I know plenty of people out in reseller land are jumping up and down saying, oh my gosh, if I offer 60-day returns, buyers are going to wait 59 days and send stuff in. That is hogwash. That does not jibe with human behavior. Humans are lazy, and they're also forgetful. So when I buy something on March 1st, what's the likelihood, if we could put a percentage chance, that I'm going to return it on, we'll say April 30th, roughly 60 days. I'd say that percentage chance is under 1%. Now, I might return it on March 7th after I get it and realize it doesn't work for me, or March 10th. But the chance that I'm going to wait this long and return it, I think, is very low. And here's why, guys. People forget. People have lives. While you're a reseller and your little doodad that you sell to somebody is incredibly important to you, I promise you, for most buyers, it's not as important. They have a life that they're living that does not revolve around eBay returns or about the item, the little doodad they bought from you that they paid you $8.50 for. It doesn't revolve around the pair of jeans they bought from me or the pair of shoes they bought from me. It just doesn't. So I think the 60 days, guys, doesn't matter. And I actually think the 60 days could reduce your returns because, again, it goes down to this idea that people will wait and wait and wait. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them will keep waiting. And the longer period you give them to wait, the less time they know you, the less likely they're to return it. It sounds great to a buyer, but I think it could even be an advantage to a seller. Now, some of you are going to say, but Prof, we got to keep money in our PayPal account just in case they return. You should. And you should always have money in your PayPal account, just like you shouldn't deplete your bank account down to $0. Suppose you forget something that's coming out. It can happen. You're a human being. You're going to forget things. You should always leave a little extra money in there just in case for returns. Whatever that is, depends on what you're selling. Like for me, if it were jeans, I could probably make do with $50 left in my PayPal account every month and be perfectly fine. All right, so I don't think the 60 days is a big deal. Now, the bigger part is will this have an impact on your sales and your profitability? Because here's the argument. The argument is that, hey, if I'm offering free returns, then everybody who buys from me is going to treat, because I'm a clothing seller, they're gonna treat my items like a dressing room. They're gonna buy a bunch of items from me and try them all on, decide they don't like them, and send them back. Hogwash. Again, it goes back to human behavior. People are lazy, guys. People go in a dressing room in a store and leave it there because they know someone else will come and clean up their mess. Do you really think someone's going to, first of all, order a bunch of multiple orders from you? The majority of people, and I'm sure there will be exceptions, but the majority of people are going to order a whole bunch of orders from you, pay you money, right? They purchased it, wait for it to come to them, get it, open it up, try them all on, decide they don't want a bunch. Oh, free shipping. Let me contact that buyer again. There's another step, takes energy. Get a label. Oh, they got to print the label out. That takes energy. Oh, they got to get a package to ship it in. Oh, that takes energy. Seal it up. Maybe take the post office, put in their post office box. Oh, that takes energy. I just don't think so, guys. I don't think people are wired like that. You're not going to take a bunch of honest people and suddenly make them scammers or make them suddenly decide to return a whole bunch of items because there's free shipping. That's not how buyers think. Buyers want to buy your item and keep it. They want to keep it. So yeah, in the back of their mind, the whole, hey, free return shipping is an enticement to buy from you. That's not really what they're focusing on. They love the word free. Free is a powerful word. You know, buy one, get one free is better than 50% off. We all know this, marketing 101, even though it's the same price. But it's not going to suddenly change people's behavior. Someone who was trying to legitimately buy an item from you and own it is going to do that. I don't know that it's really going to impact your returns that much. And when you couple with the longer 60-day period, I think it could actually keep your returns the same or lower. But a lot of you guys will say, all right, but what's the math look like, Prof, if they do start doing that? Okay. Well, you know me, I got to have a math problem. And it's early in the morning to do math. We're going to do it. All right. Let's say that you sell 100 items a month. All right. 100 items a month. Could be 10, could be 1,000. Doesn't matter. And let's say you sell those at an average selling price of $20, which is $2,000 a month in gross revenue. All right. Keep that in mind. Now, let's say that you're a clothing reseller and you average a 4% return rate. Any mathematicians out there can do how many that is per month? Should I wait? It's 4 items per month. All right. And by the way, my return rate's a little lower now. I think I'm like a 3.25. And other clothing sellers seem to be somewhere in that range. Some are down as low as 2. I've seen some around 5, somewhere in there. All right. So every month, 4 items you're going to get 4 items returned on average. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what that would cost me. That would cost me about $25 a month or $300 a year under this new policy. Free shipping. Why $25 a month? Because I'm going to send them a label for $6.30, which is a priority mail label, and they're going to get the packaging and whatever and put it in there and ship it back to me. $6.30 times 4 is about $25. We just round. It's actually a little tiny bit more. So about $300 a year is what this policy would quote unquote cost me if my returns stay the same. All right. Now let's think about this whole, how can I make up this difference? If my average selling price is $20 of the items I'm selling, guess what, guys? How much do I need to raise my selling price to make up this difference? That 25 cents an item. That covers it. That's it. And 25 cents an item on a $20 purchase price is not much. What? Just over 1%. Now, some of you might say, yeah, but that 1% is going to make me less competitive. Maybe, maybe not. But there's another factor here we have not considered, and that's the second part of eBay's policy change here, is that you'll get increased exposure. Let's assume for a moment that increased exposure for your listings now, if this really does work out, I'm going to give it a pretty conservative 5% sales increase, which means that every month you'll make 5% more than this, which is about $100 a month. If you're making a 40% margin on your items and clothing, then you're getting an additional $40 profit minus the $25 you're paying for this free shipping. You would actually come out to the good $15 a month. I mean, I don't know that all these numbers will hold up exactly like this. We don't know. But that's it. You would actually come out to the good if you can get a 5% sales increase from the increased exposure of your listings. Will you get a 5% sales increase? Will it only be 1? Will it be 0? Will it be 12%? I don't know. We don't know the answer to that. There's also another part of this too, guys, that is coming down the pike. Buyer or sellers will be able to charge reduce the amount of the return if the item comes back damaged. We don't know what that percentage is going to be capped at yet. eBay is going to put a cap percentage on that, but I'm going to give you a good rule of thumb, and I don't know if it'll work out. We don't know what their cap percentage is. But let's say it cost you $6.30 to send a padded flat rate back. And it comes back damaged, I would knock $6.30 off the return amount. You've come out even on it. Yeah, it's some time and energy, which sucks. But I just don't think the sky is falling Armageddon like other people do, guys. At least this part of the policy. I think there's ways that this will work out and be fine. And my first, regardless of whether or not you get a sales increase with exposure, if you want to go to the 60-day route, I'd raise your price enough to make up the difference, guys. That's what I would do. I would raise your prices because this is like a business expense. I mean, this is eBay going to this. I mean, other companies that offer free shipping, like an Amazon on Prime membership, I mean, that's figured in for Amazon, anything they sell. Like they have to figure that in too. Like they're going to give you a free return if Amazon carries the item. So it's figured into their business model. You figure these expenses in your business model. Everybody in the reselling community, anytime something changes like this, everybody wants to run for the hills and say, eBay's taking money out of my pocket. Only if you let them. Only if you let them. You can change your business model. You can adapt. You can change your pricing structure. You can change the cost that you buy for items. You could change what you sell. Or worst case, guys, you can get off of the platform and decide eBay is no longer for you. I don't think this is the end of the world. I don't think it's as big a deal as a lot of people are making it out to be. And by the way, remember, as I said, you don't have to opt into this. Will it be required one day? It might. It probably will. I mean, by the fall, maybe, they might require you to start doing this. Free shipping and so on. I can tell you who it would be concerning to me if I was a seller. If you sell a lot of larger, heavier items that are kind of expensive, you know, I'm lucky that, you know, sending someone in a label for $6.30 is 4 times a month is not really going to kill me. But if I had to send out labels that cost $25 or $30 a month, that starts becoming a more significant expense. So if you're shipping a lot of larger, heavier items, this definitely could have a more negative impact on you. And you probably need to rethink your pricing structure a bit in terms with also maybe this increased exposure. So long story short, it's not the end of the world. You know, stay off the message boards and the Facebook groups where people are complaining about this, guys. It's just going to bring you down. It's not going to help you evolve and adapt this to your business and your selling. It's not going to do you any good except to make you feel worse about it. And, you know, figure out what you need to do to adapt to this. And you may decide that you don't want to have 60-day returns and free shipping to start off. Don't do it. There's no, I'm actually thinking I'm going to change my return policy to 60 days already and just start experimenting with that part of it. And then I'll see kind of like, do my returns go up? I don't think they will, guys. I really don't. We'll see. And I'm a clothing reseller, so I have as much to lose in this as anybody in the whole try-on idea. But I just don't think it's going to make as big a difference as a lot of people are making out to be, just because of human behavior and all the reasons I mentioned. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this show. We're going to be back today at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Karin and I, and we'll be talking about the week recap. We'll answer any more questions about this. I see the chats flying by, so I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them. But thanks for coming on and watching. I really do appreciate it. Check me out on Instagram or Facebook at Prof Sales. And, you know, leave a question or comment down below if you have a question or comment about this. And I'll do my best to answer, at least try to find an answer to it if I don't know the answer to it. And thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you again for 10 at 10 on Monday, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock later today for the recap show. Thanks, everyone. Take care.